In the heart of sunny meadow forest, where the sunbeams danced through the leaves and the flowers sang with the breeze, lived a little tortoise named Toby. Toby was a cheerful fellow with a big, friendly smile and a sturdy, patterned shell. Every weekend, he loved to watch his friends race. The rabbits would hop, skip, and jump, their white tails bobbing like fluffy cotton balls. The squirrels would scamper up and down the trees, their bushy tails swishing with excitement. Even the graceful deer would leap and bound across the clearing, their long legs moving like lightning. It was a wonderful sight. Toby would sit on a soft patch of moss, his head peeking out of his shell, and cheer for everyone. "Go, Ricky Rabbit, go," he'd shout. "You can do it, Squeaky Squirrel." But sometimes, the other animals would look at Toby and giggle. "Look at Toby," they'd whisper. "He's so slow. He probably takes all day just to cross the stream." Ricky Rabbit once zipped past him and said, "Hey Toby, want to race to that big oak tree?" "Oh, wait, we'd have to wait until next week for you to finish." All the other animals laughed, and Toby just pulled his head into his shell, feeling a little bit sad. He wished he could be fast like them. He knew he was slow, but he also knew he had a strong heart. He'd just sigh and continue watching, dreaming of the day he could join in the fun without being laughed at. One bright morning, a special announcement echoed through the forest. It was time for the annual Great Forest Race. A colorful banner made of leaves and berries was hung between two tall pine trees. All the animals buzzed with excitement. This was the biggest race of the year, and everyone wanted to win the grand prize, the shiny, golden acorn trophy. Toby watched from his usual spot as his friends lined up, stretching their legs and boasting about how fast they were. "I'm going to win for sure," declared Ricky Rabbit, puffing out his chest. "No way, I'm the fastest runner in this whole forest," chattered Squeaky Squirrel, doing a little flip. Just then, a kind voice called out, "Toby, why don't you join us?" It was Bella the bunny, one of the kindest rabbits in the forest. She had a gentle smile and long, floppy ears. Toby's eyes widened in surprise. "Me? But I'm too slow," he stammered. The other animals started to snicker again. "Toby in a race? That's the funniest thing I've ever heard." One of the deer snorted, but Bella hopped over to Toby and nudged him gently. "It doesn't matter if you're slow or fast," she said softly. "What matters is that you try your best. It's about having fun." Toby looked at Bella's encouraging face. He thought for a moment, then took a deep breath. A new feeling of courage filled his little tortoise heart. He pushed himself up and said, with a determined voice, "Okay, I'll do it. I may be slow, but I'll do my best." The race was about to begin. All the contestants lined up at the starting line. A long vine stretched across the path. Ricky Rabbit was jumping up and down, eager to start. Squeaky Squirrel was twitching his nose, ready to dash. The deer pawed at the ground, impatient. And there, at the very end of the line, was Toby. He took a deep breath and remembered Bella's words, "Just do your best." The wise old owl, who was the race official, hooted loudly, "On your marks, get set, go." Whoosh! In a flash, all the fast animals were gone, leaving a cloud of dust behind them. Ricky Rabbit was in the lead, his feet barely touching the ground. The squirrels and deer were right behind him, a blur of fur and speed. Toby was left all alone at the starting line. He took his first step, then another, and another. He wasn't fast, but he was steady. "Slow and steady," he whispered to himself. "Slow and steady." As the race went on, the sun climbed higher in the sky. Toby kept moving, one patient step at a time. He passed the babbling brook, crossed the field of buttercups, and started the long climb up Whispering Hill. He didn't rush. He just kept his eyes on the path ahead and put one foot in front of the other. Meanwhile, the fast animals were starting to have some trouble. Ricky Rabbit, who had been leading, got so excited that he didn't watch where he was going. He tripped over a tree root and tumbled into a big mud puddle. Splat! He was covered in sticky brown mud from his ears to his tail. Squeaky Squirrel, trying to take a shortcut, decided to leap from a high branch. But he misjudged the distance and landed in a thorny bush. Ouch, 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 he cried, trying to get the prickles out of his fur. The deer, so proud of their speed, decided to stop for a long, cool drink at the river and ended up falling asleep in the warm sunshine. Toby just kept going. He plodded past the mud puddle where Ricky was trying to clean himself off. "Are you okay, Ricky?" Toby asked. Ricky just grumbled. Toby continued his steady journey up the hill and saw a Squeaky Squirrel struggling with the thorns. "Need some help, Squeaky?" Toby offered, but Squeaky was too embarrassed to answer. Toby just shook his head and kept moving. He passed the sleeping deer, who were snoring peacefully by the riverbank. He didn't stop to gloat or laugh. He just kept his focus on the race, his steady pace never changing. Slow and steady, he repeated to himself, his little legs feeling a bit tired, but his spirit still strong. The finish line couldn't be too far away now. He could hear cheering in the distance, and it gave him a new burst of energy. As Toby reached the top of Whispering Hill, he could see the finish line in the distance. It was marked with a garland of the most beautiful wildflowers. And standing there, cheering for him, was Bella the bunny. "Go, Toby, go. You can do it," she shouted, waving her paws. Seeing his friend cheering for him made Toby's heart feel full. He forgot about how tired he was. He focused on Bella's voice and the beautiful flower garland. He took another step, and another. The other animals, who had finally finished the race long ago, started to gather around. They had all seen what happened. They saw how Ricky had been too hasty, how Squeaky had been too reckless, and how the deer had been too lazy. Now, they were watching Toby. He wasn't fast, he wasn't flashy, but he was determined. Step by step, he got closer and closer. The crowd grew quiet. All eyes were on the little tortoise who everyone had laughed at. With one final, mighty effort, Toby stretched his neck and crossed the finish line. He was the last one to finish, but it didn't matter. A huge cheer erupted from the crowd. All the animals rushed forward, lifting Toby onto their shoulders. "Hooray for Toby! Hooray for Toby!" they chanted. Ricky Rabbit looked at Toby with respect. "You didn't give up, Toby," he said. "You were amazing." Squeaky Squirrel added, "You taught us a lesson today. It's not always about being the fastest." The wise old owl flew down from his branch, holding the golden acorn trophy. But instead of giving it to the fastest runner, he presented it to Toby. "This is not the trophy for speed," the owl announced in his deep, solemn voice. "Today, we have a new award. This is the trophy for the champion of patience." All the animals clapped and cheered louder than ever. Toby held the shiny golden acorn, his little heart bursting with pride. He wasn't the fastest animal in the forest, and that was okay. He had something even more special: patience, and a spirit that never gave up. He looked at all his friends smiling at him, and knew he had won something much more valuable than a race. He had won their respect and learned to believe in himself. And from that day on, whenever the animals of Sunny Meadow Forest told the story of the Great Forest Race, they always remembered the true winner, Toby, the tortoise who proved that slow and steady really does win a race. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more fun stories. See you next time.